Okay. Rolling on microphone 1 to me. That mic, maybe turn that towards you a little bit there, sir.
Okay.
Okay, camera 1 rolling. Camera 2.
We're getting fancy in here, everybody.
Apparently. Oh yeah, there he is. I'm gonna back it off just a little bit.
Well, yeah, I always forget that there's going to be video now, so now I can't look like a fucking idiot.
It's okay.
My audio one.
It's okay, sir. Okay, I'm gonna make sure everything's good here. I think I'm pretty much as ready as we can really be to go. We got 3 phones out.
Yeah.
2 microphones, 2 cameras, 1 dog, and 2 good fucking men.
We're big timing now. You
How
ready
the
to
hell
go
are you,
or what?
sir?
Good,
Yeah.
man. Thanks for coming on my podcast.
Thanks, man. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Welcome to the Nomadic Ninja podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cheers,
This
buddy.
cup of coffee is
Yeah,
really hot.
It's hot as shit. It's fresh.
Must
fresh
be for
butter
only
coffee.
Nomadic Ninja hands, because holy shit, I'm about to burn my hands here. Don't mind me. I'm going to have this in about 20 minutes. How about that?
I know that's the one. It's actually not too bad to sit, but that's the one thing I do need is some kind of like table that extends out there.
What if you had a table that somehow just was like up like
Retracted
this?
up here, yeah.
And then came down? or
Fuck,
something?
some people do it, man. If you're like really good with woodwork or like an engineer, you could rig that up. But
Yeah.
or my brother, he could probably do it.
I'm going to call your brother after this and say, hey, Kane, how the hell are you? We need to get a little table installed from the roof for my hot cup of coffee.
He could do it. All right, so I want to give you a little intro before we get going.
Okay, let's do it.
And yeah, again, like I want to kind of, we definitely will promote a few things that you have going on, but for those of you that are tuning in, that if you don't know DillyBat, and first of all, thanks for coming here so early, because DillyBat, he's known for his bat life and like late nights, and it's what 6:30 a.m. right now. We met here at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and
almost
got,
7.
and got the cameras. Yeah, it's 7 now, but we were here probably like just after 6 a.m.
Yep.
Got set up. So
Up at 5, texted you at 5 or 5:15.
You're on the bird life.
Holy, I am a young bird
The
today.
bat shapeshifts into a bird every now and then.
Hey man, sometimes you just
when
gotta
duty calls.
you just gotta take flight in the morning,
Yeah.
Early
yeah.
morning flights.
So I got DillyBat here. He's been a really good friend of mine for many years. He's ran his own company for many years. He's worked for himself for a long time. He's a photographer, a videographer, an audio engineer, a hip hop artist, which you have an album coming out on the 23rd. 11/23, is that what it's called?
Yes, sir.
11/23?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's kind of the big thing that, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But before we get into kind of, how you turned into DillyBat and how you created all this, I do want to kind of start from the beginning, and then we'll just kind of walk everybody through your life, because a lot of the stuff I might know already, but I also don't know a lot of it, because we didn't really hang out that much when you were younger, especially.
No, we didn't.
Kind
And
of
this
like-
coffee's very good, by the way, sir.
Thank you, sir.
For anyone that comes on this podcast in the future,
Yeah.
you're lucky to
You
get
just got to
this.
be careful though. You poop like a water slide, so hopefully it doesn't disrupt the podcast. No
not a-
bathroom in here, so
It's not a problem, man. I can hold it.
we'll pinch it. So yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about like where were you born?
Well, I was born in a third world country in Romania, so Europe.
Shit.
Yeah,
And
bro.
when did you move here?
So 2 weeks after being born, I was adopted by a white family out in Warman, and that's how I got brought into the group of Warman boys.
So 2 weeks. So you
2
were there
weeks.
for 2 weeks like
Yeah.
old, and then you came to Canada.
Yeah, so my mom was 17 and my dad was in jail actually when this was all happening, so it was pretty chaotic. We lived in a mud house with like 17 people. We had goats in the back. That was like what we did. We like had milk and all that kind of stuff like that. I don't know too much about my past or like my starting,
Right.
because back in the day, like I'm 28 years old, back in the day they didn't have Google Maps, they didn't really keep track of stuff.
Right.
And so there wasn't a lot of information, but that's the information that I was given. So after 2 weeks of being born, my mom came down from, I guess it would have been Saskatoon or Warman, whatever, Saskatchewan. Flew down. She couldn't have any more kids. And I was the lucky kid that got adopted right from a mud house.
And then so how, like, once you got back into like Warman or Saskatoon area, like how did you handle all that? Was it ever like a kind of like stress you out, or were you so young at the time that it happened you didn't really carry much trauma with you?
Honestly, to be honest, like I don't really feel like there was a lot of trauma. I feel like as I've been growing up into my older self, I've been learning more about the internal, like some of the behavior, some of the ways I act.
Right.
Maybe it's something that like, maybe it's something I don't understand, but I never make excuses.
Yeah.
But as growing up, my mom and dad told me right away I was adopted, and I knew I was different from all the kids from the
Right.
get-go. But I don't know, like I was a happy kid growing up, and like, I mean, I don't want to go too ahead yet, but I did get bullied a little bit. But I mean, for the most part, like I fit in. I was the one token brown kid in a white community, right?
Man.
So growing up as a little kid, like my parents told me right away, I'm adopted.
Yeah.
And this is why you're different. You're special.
That says a lot about your parents to make. You must have felt like you were part of the family and like loved.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're not feeling like that much trauma from like just not really knowing maybe like where exactly you came from or like not knowing your parents that well.
Exactly.
And to not carry any like that, I don't want to call it baggage, but whatever.
Yeah, the
So they
internal
must have done a good
baggage,
job of it. Yeah, like really kind of like making you feel like you were family.
Yeah,
And you are family.
Well, 100%, man. It's weird. I actually, I look like my dad a little bit, not a lot, but it's weird to think that like I'm adopted into this family, and people say all the time, "Dilly, you look like your dad."
It's
and I'm
crazy.
like,
not to relate
we're not related.
my
but
dog with your dad, but it's like even like people when they get a dog, you hang out with them so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like some people start to almost like look like their
no,
pet.
everybody that has a dog,
Yeah.
you look like your dog, 100%.
Yeah.
Even Devin, if you're watching this, like if Devin was a dog, he would be Lenny, 100%.
It's
Or
hilarious,
who else
man.
has a dog
They
that?
just morph into people sometimes or pets.
I don't know
for
how
around
that
them.
works. I feel like subconsciously you pick the dog that looks like you or the dog you would be, maybe.
Yeah.
I've never had a dog, but
So then, what kind of kid were you? Like, were you like
crazy
super,
little fucker.
Were you like really outgoing and like just like a wild dude?
Wild kid, just did whatever. I was very friendly, like
Yeah.
overly friendly. Like my parents were like scared of how friendly I would be. Like I would just go have supper with people at the block. I just invite myself over, go have supper, and just like someone would call my mom and be like, "Hey, Dylan's here and he's gonna have supper with us," and they'd be like, "Okay." I was so crazy. Like anytime I had a chance, and I kind of remember this a little bit. This is back when Zellers was a thing. Zellers, man.
Wow.
This we're bringing it way back. That's how old this is. But I was such a crazy kid that they would put me on a fucking harness when I would when my mom would be shopping with me, because any moment that I could,
You're one of those kids on a leash.
and not just like one of nice little backpack things. Like back in the day, it was like pretty much it was a dog leash that was like a little backpack. It was brutal. I could actually remember it. If you can think of like a dog leash, but like with two holes that you put your arm in, that's what I would like wear.
Yeah, it's a legit
and
dog
because
harness,
no word of lie, because I would run away. I would just run. I'd run away until I get lost, and then I would pretty much go to get found. And I did it so often. You could even ask my mom that she would just like wait at the front where the doors were and just wait for me to come there. Like it got to the point where she just was like used to it and would just wait for me and like not even care, and I'd be like worried or scared.
So you were kind of like destined to like be on your own, like kind of working this whole. You maybe not destined, but whatever. It's like you're built for this.
I was built for this.
Like this type of lifestyle that you're living, because you travel a lot. You're always going all over the place.
The gypsy of all gypsies. Everyone's like, I'm a traveling gypsy. I'm like, I'm a real gypsy. I'm like from the land, the blood, the mud of gypsies. So like that's why I travel a lot, and that's why like.
That's awesome, man.
That's why I am
cool. So because I know you kind of like stumbled upon and you kind of knew that you liked being creative, and you like. I remember back in the day, like I went to talent shows and you were like doing beatboxing and like rapping. Like you kind of always had that in you, where a lot of people, I find it takes them a long time to find something that they like and that they're passionate about. So they're always, for me including in this, like I always struggle with like, wow, what do I like? But then here's you. It's like you knew that you liked to be on stage. You knew 100%. That you had that energy, that you're more of like an extrovert. You like that attention, and it was good, and you thrived in it
from a young age.
Yeah, like when was the first time that you started being like, oh shit, like this is what I want to do? Like what was kind of the first thing? Was
I'm trying to think.
Well, a talent show, like a camera thing?
Okay, I'm trying to think, because the first thing that really led me to all of my type of arts was beatboxing, and I'm pretty sure
that was big back then. Too.
Yeah, it was cool back in the day. Yeah. My first show, and I'm pretty sure I actually still have a photo of this. I must have been like 13, 14 years old, maybe. I actually still have some footage online. So So one was at Bible camp, Redberry Bible camp. So shout out to Corwin. Yeah, shout out to Corwin.
He's coming on here too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
But that was one of my first performances, and the other one was actually at a church. It was just like a talent show, but it was inside a church. And that was like my first time. And actually, if you really want to go see it, you can right now. It's Lil G beatboxing. It's still on there. And it's me as a little kid. I got a bandana on, a jersey, some circus shoes with pink laces. I got to remember like yesterday.
Sick.
And Corwin's like, hey, he's like, you're going to go up and beatbox. You're awesome.
Wow.
And I just was like, I was like a little bit scared, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed entertaining people and making them happy and having that wow. Just from a young age, I always loved it. And so like, I couldn't even say, like, I guess that was the start of it.
Yeah.
But it's always kind of been in me. Like, it's always just like, it's not even like, it's almost out of my control. It's part of it. It's like destiny. It's like, it's just been a part of my life.
Who you are.
100%.
So then after that show, what else did you kind of like dabble in that you tried to like find that excitement again? Like you did that show and then like were you like looking to perform more? Like did you be like, oh shit, like I gotta do that again? Like,
well, I don't know if it was exactly like I felt exactly like that, but I think it just kind of started coming more natural. And just like after that as beatboxing, then I started to rap. But I started rapping with like little MP3s. Excuse me. The coffee got me burping.
Yeah. Does that.
But yeah, so like I started with MP3 recordings in like grade 7, recording raps, and then from there I moved to a program called Audacity, and I started recording like a shitty little microphone. And then I remember I did a school talent show again where I performed under the name Lil G.
Oh yeah, Lil G.
And I just knew then that I was just like, yeah, this is like what I want to do. I don't know exactly where I want to go or what I'm going to do with it, but I just knew I liked doing it, and anytime I had an opportunity, I was down to do it. I remember even I had to type out my lyrics and send them into the principal to make sure like it was okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Because they didn't want me like being a hooligan on stage, right? So yeah, that's like the start of everything, and it's a little bit blurry because it's so long ago, but there are some really distinct moments in my life that I remember being on stage and remember like this life. I even remember one time, actually I can recall in grade 1 when Mr. Thomas and I'll let you go back, but Mr. Thomas came to the room, pulled me out of the room, and he's like, hey, you're gonna come into the gym and you're just going to be a really cool dude. And it was just like the weirdest shit ever, but I was a kid and I didn't understand it, but I could remember it like yesterday. And so like, I just remember like them pointing to the door, and it was like some kind of play or something, but I didn't know what was going on. And I just came in, and I just remember everybody was cheering loud for me, and I was just like had my hands up, and I was just like dancing, and like
DillyBat was born.
It was like so weird. It was just like, and now thinking back on it, it's actually hilarious, but that's kind of like the start of it all, little bits and pieces throughout my young life, and then kind of carried on, and I always liked it, and then I just kept trying things that really nobody else was doing.
That's awesome, man. It's such a blessing. Like, I know you said it was like a little bit blurry. It's not like it was crystal clear, like, oh, you know you want to do this, but even just to like almost like trust the path that you're on. You don't know where it's leading, but it's like you know that it feels right, and you just continue down that path. You know, so many people are just kind of lost in the sauce. And it's kind of nice to have like at least found something that you know for sure makes you feel good.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that was
awesome,
it.
man.
That was legit it.
So like, you know, now, you know, maybe we'll fast forward into like high school, like when you're getting close to graduating now, like what did you think was going to happen out of high school? Like were you going to school? Were you just looking for like to get employment, or were you like, I got to start my own business? Like what did you do out of high school?
Oh, like out of high school, I was like really bad at school because I couldn't focus. I hated school.
You and me both, buddy.
Had no interest in it. So I knew for sure that I wasn't going to go to college. I knew that right off the bat. I'm like, no, I'm not going to college. I didn't know why, but I was just like, I'm not going to waste my time doing it.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad, I remember them kind of pushing me to like do something, but they didn't push me like into anything that I didn't want to do, because what's the point in putting your kid through something in general that like they're not going to use, or like if they don't know. And even like the EAs or TAs, would you call them? Teacher assistants or EAs? I don't know, one of the two.
Yeah.
I remember them saying like, you know, take a year off before you go into anything and just get a good feel for the work life and then figure out what you want to do. I remember that specifically being told. I can't remember which teacher, but I just remember that being said to me, and it really stuck with me. So
smart, man. It's, a lot of people do that.
It seemed logical to me, and everybody else, like all my buddies that like knew what they knew what they were gonna do in grade 11 and grade 12, and they're still doing it today. So like, hats off to those guys, because like they went to school for the first 4 years of their life, or 5 years after their life, of civil engineering or CAD/CAM engineering.
Yeah.
You know, like Cody Oxted or like Raheem, Ahmad, or I don't know if it's how you say his last name. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. I just call him Ahmadi. I always just say stupid shit, just dumb nicknames. But those guys knew what they were gonna do before, and so when I came out of high school, I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do. I was just like, well, I'm gonna work.
And that's a scary time, like out of high. It's like, you know, because it's so easy just to be in high school. You just show up on time, you do the classes, you got friends, you got gym class, and then all of a sudden you're out of high school. Now it's like you got no teacher or principal to like kind of hold your hand and guide you. Now it's like, hey, like figure it out. Like no one can make this answer for you, so it's like you just have to make a decision. So, what did you do? Like you just went to a job.
To work, man. I just worked. I was working at Subway at the time when I was in school.
I remember.
So I
remember you working at
the Sub Ninja. They called me because I was fast at making subs, and everyone liked to get their sub made by me. So I did Subway for a while. I bounced between like probably 10 jobs, man. I hated all of them.
Yeah.
And I never settled. I didn't know what my answer was, but I never settled. So I worked pretty much my whole life up until the point where I ended up going into DillyBat Productions. I started DillyBat Productions 6 years ago in July, so that means 28. So I would have been 22 in July when I started that. So
like 4 years out of high school.
4 years of working, construction jobs. Hated those.
Oh, I couldn't see you doing construction.
Holy shit, was I bad at construction.
I'm not saying you'd be bad. I just
I was
feel
horrible.
like I feel like you'd hate it.
I hated
just
it.
knowing you.
I hated it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But man, those are such good lessons, like to just keep trying new things and figure out what it is you don't want.
I never gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and it was like, while this is happening, everybody else at this point now is starting to make some money.
Yeah.
So I'm freshly moved into a house where my buddy just bought a house with his friend. That's Ryan and Shaden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm just this dude who rents. I don't even have enough money to really do much, and everybody else is kind of starting to do good. And
it's a tough thing on the ego too.
Oh, it's a tough thing, man.
You can like beat yourself up a lot over
100%. All my friends. I think you had that house on the east side there at the time. I think, but you were making money. Back or decent. Like,
I was making money, but I hated my life.
Well, there you go. But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I had no clue. But so you had the truck and all this stuff, and I was like, man, like everybody around me was doing cool shit, and here I am hating my life. And I'm like,
man, we're our own worst enemies, because here you are in your own head, and I'm in my own head where it looks from afar like everything's fine and dandy. Oh, he's got a house, a truck, but it's like I'm going stir crazy just like you are,
dude.
So
and you don't really know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So it's always good in general to be kind to people. Don't ever judge, because you just don't know what people are going through in general.
Exactly.
I was judging, thinking you were living the life, and here I am mentally in the same spot you are.
Yeah.
And those were the darkest, like I think from ages of like right out of high school probably till about 22, 23 were like, till I started DillyBat Productions, were like dark days for me.
Yeah.
But that came from hating my job and not making any money.
Right.
And so I couldn't get my brain out of like any other thought process besides I needed to make money to survive. I hated what I wanted to do, so then it would just be a trap. On the weekends I just wanted to party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to party because it was a getaway.
And how many people do that?
It's still to this day.
Yeah.
The only difference now between me partying now and before is I don't party because I hate my life, or I'm getting away from anything, or because it's the only thing to do. It's a choice. I like to be social.
Yeah.
I love people, and being a single guy, of course, chasing girls.
Yeah, for sure.
It's how it goes.
So what was the catalyst to kind of get you out of that dark spot and get you to start DillyBat? Was there something in particular that was like...
There was a very particular moment in my life that changed my life. Like, I was like, dark times, man. Like, I guess I could talk about it because I've never talked about it ever before, but it's on the album. But the song's like 4.5 years old, but I was already talking about it from like a year or two of perspective from that. So it's like the idea of it was 6 years old, but I was in a dark place. Like, I fucking was like, I had like suicide on my mind, like heavy, and like it's not something you want to admit, but when I know now that I would never ever consider, just because I have a different perspective, I'm totally okay sharing that, because a lot of people see me as a happy guy and would have never guessed that I had those type of thoughts in my head, those type of feelings, and that's a real thing to lots of people. So
Yeah.
I think it's good to share that. So it was really dark for me. I didn't care. I hated my life. I was like ready to like be done with it. I actually got a tattoo to remind me of why I do what I do. So before I get to that, what really changed my life is mushrooms. Actually, I did 4 grams of mushrooms after a night of drinking. This is back when Bailey's was still a place on 8th Street, when we used to go to Bailey's. And I came back and I was with my buddy, or our buddy, Josh Dole, and we were just sitting there and we just did a bunch of mushrooms. I really wanted to do them, and it was late at night. And I kind of like in and out remember, but like it took over me within like the first 30-40 minutes, like, and I think that's kind of fast, but it took over me pretty quick. Yeah, and we didn't even leave the driveway, and I actually remember like I bawled my eyes out and cried and let everything out. And that was the first time of me ever doing anything like that before. Like I never talked about my feelings, never talked about my darkness, anything. Never talked about it because I didn't know how. I actually had no clue how. Yeah. And I didn't even like, sometimes you don't even know all the bullshit that's inside of you.
Well, that's the nice thing with some of these plant medicines. They're not escape drugs. Sometimes it makes you face whatever you're dealing with.
100%.
So it's kind of it's not like a little getaway. You're not like escaping your
that's
problem.
what I thought it was too. Like, it wasn't even like I was like,
we're
escape. Yeah, but that's kind of what the idea was. Let's have fun. I have no clue what's going to happen. So the first 30 or 40 minutes, and this is what really changed my whole life. The first 30 or 40 minutes, I like cried my eyes out, let it all out. But then after, I like felt this like sense of peace. And we had a fun rest of our night, and it like carried on until the morning because mushrooms last like 8 hours. So I'm not going to go into detail of how that night went, but it was really good. But the first 40 minutes was like my darkest shit ever. And
just making you deal with that and process those emotions.
Who knows, if depending on who that person would have been, it could have been bad. But my vibe told me that I was I wasn't in control at that time, and that this needed to happen. And I was like with the guide, and Josh was the perfect person. He like just got closer to me. He's like, it's like I kind of snapped out of it. He's like, you don't realize kind of just what happened, and I kind of like started. It's like I was like in another world for a second, and that really let me get so much negativity out. After that, I feel like that was when the start of me as a young kid starting really understanding the communication process and understanding yourself. I still wasn't nearly there compared to where I am today, but that was the start. And I don't know what would have happened to my life if I wouldn't have done mushrooms that night, because I was not open to drugs. I never smoked weed in high school. I smoked weed after high school. Never did cocaine in my life, and like just. Fuck, it was crazy, man. I didn't try any kind of drugs in high school. I was just a straight shooter, and then drank. Okay, I drank, but
that's the gateway drug.
Yeah, exactly. And then did the mushrooms, and that's what kind of started it. And after that,
before you get into after that, I do want to say, just so everybody knows, that doesn't happen every time with mushrooms. So don't hear this and been like, I'm just going to eat a bunch of mushrooms and like trip balls. No. Be careful with that. Setting is huge.
I'm not condoning anyone to do any type of drugs at all. You do it at your own risk and your own influence. But that's just what helped me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it. It's good honesty.
It is. It's some real shit. It's good to share that too, because everyone sometimes thinks your life's just all glory and all this type of shit. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's good. And so now that you had like this kind of rebirth or awakening, even though everything's not crystal clear, I know like just with time we always evolve, we get better. You're still young then, but at least it kind of help you heal some of your past traumas and some of your dark times. So after that trip, what did you think? Were you just like, I need to start my own company? Like,
it didn't happen that quick.
No, eh?
It was something that was like internally working that I didn't really know until later. Like, I more appreciated that mushroom trip years later. I didn't realize it because I didn't have perspective. I had no perspective at all. Especially as 22, and a lot of people still don't have perspective. You don't learn it. You don't learn communication. You don't learn anything. So how are you going to have it when you don't know? We're not taught that. So luckily I had good friends, and that trip really helped me out. But, like, it didn't come till like later. I think that really was like the new ground. And then really what started my business was just literally following my heart and not giving up. And my heart was in this art. And when I moved into this house with Ryan and Shaden, I just came out of school for audio engineering. I was also the first class of 6 people in all of Saskatchewan to do the program. So it was new.
Yeah.
I hadn't gone to school. Parents had some money saved away. I said, I really want to do this. Can I do it? Shout out to my mom and dad, because honestly, they not only did they raise me good, but they took risks, especially when, you know, you have pressure from other parents, when parents are looking at you like, what's your kid kind of doing?
Yeah.
They just kind of like, they really supported me and let me do what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
It was kind of like a bit of hesitation, because they're like, but I think they knew that I had something in me that they didn't know either.
Right.
So they're like, just do it, because like we're not
Just
gonna.
believed in you.
They're like, if, at least it's gonna make you happy. It's better than doing school for a year and not liking it, wasting the money. So I went to school for audio engineering, fast track it, finished, living with these guys. I'm recording with people. DillyBat Productions really started, like the very start of it was really with Data Banks, to be honest with you, which at the time didn't have any name at all. So I'm kind of trying to tell the fast story of it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So he messaged me, said, I heard you mix music. At the time, nobody was really mixing music for hip-hop around Saskatoon, because home studios weren't really a thing then. There was a couple people doing it. Home studios weren't a thing.
So Data was rapping back then, too?
Data was already doing this thing before. I think he had a
Maybe.
name. I think his name was Curbside Preacher on MySpace. I'm pretty sure.
MySpace.
I'm not sure, though.
Shout out to MySpace and Exopia.
Shout out to MySpace. It's no longer available, but damn, it was cool. So he comes over, checks out the place. I go back over to his place. Here's some of his songs. He's got all the gear. Doesn't know how to run it. I know how to run it. Within a month after that, I moved in, and this is why I moved into his place. So I moved out of my best friend's place. I never ever. One thing about me is I didn't even know myself, but I never stayed comfortable. Never stayed comfortable. So, guys, like, you want to move in? If you move in, you can have the whole basement. The basement's not finished. It gives me a reason to finish the basement. I'll finish the floor. You move in there. You have an open space down there. You can have your bed. We're going to build a booth, and we're going to build a studio, and we're going to follow our dream.
So your mind just went...
And I'm like...
You're like, oh,
yeah, because I was recording in a closet.
Right.
In my room with a single bed. I had a big bed. Literally, is this a single?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was sleeping on this, and, you know, not that that's a problem or anything, but that's where it was, a small room, and sleeping on a single bed, recording, and then he's like, here you go. And I was just like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I have to.
Crazy.
I can't not do this.
What a good feeling.
So, move in with him, start making all this music. We probably made 30 songs with him. Now at the time, I'm not making music, so I had taken a break from music to go to school for audio engineering. Previously, before that, I was the artist amongst 2 or 3 other artists that was getting all the big shows. Used to open up for every big act that would come in, and it was like, back in the day, people were really, really fucking with the hip-hop and Saskatoon. People would come out to the shows, like, it was like a big deal. Like, it was a big thing. People were trying to, like, supporting us and seeing who's going to do what. So I stopped doing the music, went to school for audio engineering, started producing all these hip-hop guys that had nowhere to record, started birthing some of these guys that now do their own thing, and I just believed in them and knew they had talent, and so started birthing them, moved into Data Banks's. I was shooting videos for myself as well, because I was a video guy. Shot my first music for Data Banks, and I remember after that day of shooting, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I'll shout out John Jones, again, not the fighter, but that's like Data's good buddy.
Okay.
And
Do I know
those,
John Jones?
I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's a good dude. And we met, he was there helping with the video shoots, first time I met him. And I said it to them too, and they didn't really say much, but that was the start of DillyBat Productions, to be honest with you. After I shot that video for Data, I just like started snowballing and getting more ideas, and I can go more in depth, but I'll stop it there. That's where it started. And on that note, we're at 28 minutes before we get on to the next part. I'm just going to turn on and off the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Because these things cut off at 30 minutes. Okay. So let's go here. Stop in that one. Okay. Look at me. I prepared well.
Nice.
If you want, there's a red button on the back of there. You could just press it and press it again.
A red button?
Yeah, there's a red button if you can't see it. For everyone that's on the podcast, I'm making Jesse go the extra mile. We're doing video, but the video's cut out at 30 minutes, and then you have to restart it, so we're just doing that right now. Start, and...
While we're waiting, this podcast is brought to you by Rampage Coffee. Thank you for listening.
Shout out to Rampage Coffee, because they hook a guy up with coffee all the damn time, and I love it. Alright, get comfy there so I can get focused, sir.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, we're back at it.
Sweet.
We're back.
Good?
We're back.
Sweet.
So yeah, we just left off.
How did you come up with the name DillyBat? What or who came up with that? What is that all about?
Well,
what's the history?
So my boy Shay Danger, or he's now Cashish Shay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's my main man. Shout out to him. He used to call me a fruit bat.
Fruit bat.
When I would eat fruit, he said I looked like a fruit bat. Like
That's
my
funny.
cheeks did this thing, and I looked like a fruit bat apparently. So he started calling me Dilly the fruit bat. That's what he started calling me.
The fruit bat.
Yeah,
Nice.
Dilly the fruit bat, and then
That's funny.
it went from that to Dilly the bat, and then DillyBat.
It's evolved into.
And then it went to DillyBat Beats. So
Oh.
I was doing the audio engineering thing. I hadn't quite turned over to production.
Yeah.
So it was DillyBat Beats.
Oh, okay.
DillyBat on the beat. Bitch.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what it was.
That's awesome. So it didn't have anything to do with bat life then?
Not at the time.
Because you really kind of like turned that into like a funny brand almost.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's like,
I started that. I got
Yeah.
that. Everybody knows about the bat life. I'm
Yeah.
going to end up making like some merch with it too.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, it's DillyBat Beats. Actually, I have, this is a random thing, but if you go back onto Google, YouTube, or whatever, I have the highest viewed video in the world. It's called How to Send a Pro Tool Session. So I was doing tutorials. And it
Did you
was
say the most viewed video in the world, or what did you just say?
yeah, it was
Oh.
up until the last time that I checked, anyways. But for how to send a Pro Tool session.
Oh, I see.
So my video was the top thing, and like you Google it, how to send a Pro Tool session, and my shit was the highest viewed video in like the whole world, because nobody had made
Yeah.
a good one at the time. But
Right.
it was under DillyBat Beats. It's like, hey guys, DillyBat Beats here. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to send a Pro Tool session.
Wow.
Yeah, you can go look it up.
So it's cool to see, like, you know, it's
crazy.
almost reminded me of like Gary Vaynerchuk when he was doing like the wine thing before it was cool, and he was like sending emails before it was cool. It's like you were doing things behind the scenes before anybody really knew much about that scene or went
was
to school
ahead.
for that. Yeah, it's
I
like
was
you were
ahead of
kinda
a lot of
paving-
shit,
paving
and
the way.
it's not always about who's first. It's about who does it right. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, but
And you did a bit of both.
yeah.
You're first, and you've been doing it right, which is why you're in business for how long?
6 years now.
Yeah,
6 years as of
Yeah.
July 17th.
Crazy.
Yeah. When Instagram started, I was one of the first people around here doing Instagram.
Yeah.
Before, and that's when I started the production company. Because I remember my first post. You probably could go back and look at it if you really want to go. It's a picture of my Glide Cam, the Glide Cam 5000. That was the like it's a little device to like kind of like keep your video camera steady.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah,
why that was
yeah.
so confusing for me
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
that, but yeah. So yeah, like I was ahead of a lot of stuff, and when I started doing photo and video, I looked around. There was a couple guys doing video. I'm like, I think I can do it better. That's what my honest thought process
Yeah.
was, and there wasn't a lot of people doing photo and video. There was a couple guys doing photo, and I turned it into a business. I moved home, and I mean, I don't want to go off on a trail, but pretty much I was ahead of the curve with a lot of things, and I honestly feel like I stay ahead of the curve on a lot of things. A lot of things I don't even talk about. Like I have ideas and different plans for things that I'm gonna do, and I haven't done them yet. But when I do, people will follow.
Yeah. Well, that's
You
the
know.
cool thing. Like you're really just kind of like water, just never stagnant, never still. You're just always moving and
always
adapting
moving.
and
Don't get comfortable.
yeah, like
Move where the market goes. You
Yeah.
know, like see what's happening. That's why people are like, Dilly, you're always on your phone. I'm like, yeah, but I'm always ahead of you, motherfuckers. So like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm on my phone, but I'm being productive on it, even if it looks like I know it's annoying when you're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Some of my friends always give me shit.
Yeah.
But I'm either interacting, answering 20 people in the DMs, text message, Snapchat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like,
it's your business.
not only is my business, but
life.
knowing the newest information, it's a job in itself. But you either just naturally want to do it or you don't. Like
Yeah.
some people don't want to go on for more than 20 minutes and they're sick of it. It's just how you're built.
Yeah, yeah,
And-
and that's just it. It's how
And
you
I
feel,
respect
like,
it all.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
some
I get
people-
in shit, but at the same time I'm ahead of the
Yeah,
curve. So
yeah.
not on all things, but there are some things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's always a time and a place, you know. It's like I always like, you know, if I'm like in front of someone, I do my best to just not touch my phone and be like really engaging.
Yeah, and I have a bad habit of that, but I have good friends that call me out on my bullshit
Yeah,
on
yeah.
everything, so
Yeah.
I don't get to breathe. I don't get to do any bullshit.
Yeah.
So I have friends that call me out, all the
Yeah.
time.
That's good.
On numerous things besides the phone, but that's a main one.
Yeah.
Very aware.
So could you like, you know, I'm just thinking about how you have your fingers in so many different things. Like, do you enjoy kind of, or do you sometimes think about, you know, specializing in like just wedding photography
no.
or just music, or do you like dabbling?
I
in
like
a
to
bunch
dabble
of
in a
different
bunch
things?
of different
That's
stuff,
awesome.
man. I'm gonna be bored.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll be bored if I just do one thing.
Right.
I really don't even I like weddings, but only if I like.
Yeah, I just brought that up as an example.
Yeah, no, but even like weddings, it's like some people I know just focus on weddings in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't book that many because I want to do other things.
Yeah.
I want to go travel. I want to take a spontaneous trip. I'm going to go to LA here, go promote the album. I'm going to go out there just because I can.
Yeah.
You know, I like to be free.
Man, that's so huge. Like I find like even for me, like I love martial arts, but I like the training part of it, the coaching and competing every now and then, and there's just so many different aspects to it. But I just think that it's important to like have that creativity in you where you're always like changing it up and then have something new and fresh as 100%. Far as ideas go, like instead of you like just doing music videos or just weddings or just portrait photography. It's kind of cool where it's like every job for you is like a little bit different. You're like,
everything's
okay, like,
different,
I gotta
man.
adjust and I gotta see this differently. I gotta get different angles and
100%
cool,
dealing
man.
like it's a lot actually. It's a lot more than that too.
Oh, I can
dealing
imagine.
with the timelines, dealing with people, different types of people.
Yeah.
I actually really feel like from dealing with so many different types of people on my own, emails, phone calls, editing, color correcting, sending it off, everything on my own, and I take pride in doing that. I'm not complaining. I absolutely love it. But me doing that with so many people my whole life, man, I honestly should have been a psychologist. I should have been a psychologist. I know it's funny to say, but I understand people so well.
Yeah.
I understand, and that's why I can put myself in all these positions naturally, without changing me, but adapting to somebody a little bit.
Chameleon.
Yeah, but not to the point where it's like you're being fake or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm still me. I'm not.
Just adjusting your energy. You don't have to change who you are.
And adjusting how you respond or talk with somebody. Everybody's got different levels, and I really have found that one of my biggest talents, aside from doing the audio, photo, and video, like the art side, is directly dealing with people, being able to read the plate, understand how they feel with not even saying it, intercept that, and respond in a way that is respectful and going to make sure everybody wins at all times, even if it's not going to work in my favor. I'm always thinking about all these different things.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why I'm still in business. I don't advertise.
Yeah.
But people hear about how I treat people, how well I treat people, how my customer service is, how far I go. I take pride in that because, I don't know, just when you do it like that, it's a long game thing.
Yeah.
I'm a one-man show right now, so I'm not scaling it up. I'm not making a shitload of money, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people around me are happy that I've worked for them. And when people want Dilly to do a project, they call me to do it.
Do you ever think about delegating some of the other, and I know you do, you've hired people for random shoots and stuff, but do you ever think about expanding to the point where you get a full-time employee, or would you rather a one-man show for now?
I think I'll be a one-man show for now. I honestly, money is I want to, don't get me wrong, I want to be rich, I want to make lots of money, but I want to do it in different terms. I think I have a different idea of something I'm going to do in the next couple of years that's not going to be DillyBat Productions. And I don't know if I want to take my art and love and then mix it with, I have already mixed it with business, but then go deeper into it, because I've seen guys do it and they end up losing the art side of it and not loving it as much, and it becomes more of a business. And don't get me wrong, I like to run my business like it is a business, but I like to be free like I am free.
Yeah.
I think if I'm going to scale, it's going to be in something else.
Right.
And I have those ideas in my head, but I'm not going to say it until I actually start to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay to scale in this other area that I want to go, because I understand that people come and go.
Yeah.
And that relationships sometimes don't go perfect. I'm not sure if I'm willing to lose that.
Yeah.
With the video and photo. Again, that's why I have my specialty. That's why I've been 6 years and I don't really have too many people with me, because I want someone that just has the same energy, the same love, the same vibe. People have the talent, but there's a lot more that comes with it than just the talent. And I'm just looking for someone that I can vibe with and really be close with, so that we can do stuff. Because when I'm bringing someone on a shoot, it's not just me hiring you. It's we're dealing with someone's important day here. I want to know that we're on the same vibe. And that'll make a much more difference, but it takes a lot longer. I could hire. There's a lot of people looking out for work. I could hire, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go for a different type of vibe for the people that I want to be around me and around my brand. Yeah. And if that's nobody, because I'm picky, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because when I think I scale, it'll be in something totally different, where it can be a little bit more raw, a little bit more business, a little bit more structured, a little bit more this is this and this, and this is what you got to do. And, just pretty much straight to the point where this kind of stuff's more because it's art, it's difficult to scale when you're dealing with emotion and when you're dealing with creativity and painting a picture for somebody else's vision.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about your job? Like, what do you like the most? Is it like hip hop like live performance, or like shooting people's like, you know, whatever event, taking photos? What's your favorite part?
Fuck, I love it all, man. I couldn't even say. I like doing music videos. Love music videos. I actually like wedding photography and video a lot. Now I'm starting to like it more. I like it all. There's nothing I don't like. I'm so like invested in all of it. Like, I've taken so much time in all these little areas that now I'm getting really good in all these little areas. But I still got a lot more to go. I don't think I'm great or anything. I think I'm doing good.
Yeah.
But I like so many different areas. It's hard for me to decide.
That's
like,
awesome.
if someone's like, what one area? You have to pick one area. One photo area, one video area. I'm just saying that to myself right now. I would pick music videos for video. And for photography, the type of photography I would do. Honestly, I've been enjoying headshots lately for businesses and stuff like that. I have a talent with that, I think. I've been really figuring that out. It's not hard.
Yeah.
But
nice.
I enjoy it.
Nice.
Headshots.
So you're, what are we at now? 40 minutes? Let's get into your album a little bit.
Yeah,
that
okay,
album coming out on
sounds good.
23rd.
Yeah.
11/23?
11/23.
What's the meaning behind the name?
Only one other person's actually asked me about that so far. I'm surprised, but 11/23.
Well, now you're gonna let a million people know. There's so many people that listen to this podcast.
So to the million people that are listening right now, okay, I'm calling it 11/23 because it's my special number. So, and I knew I was gonna when I was putting these songs together. I knew that the next album I was going to make, like, I knew this 5 or 6 years ago that I was going to call it that. I'm pretty sure, like, if you went onto my Twitter, it would be such a dig. But if you went on my Twitter somewhere, I remember typing it and putting it out that my next album I'm going to call it 11/23. And the reason for that is because these numbers, I either see them together all the time or separately or 23 backwards. And it's always a sign of good. It's always a sign of I'm in the right place where I'm supposed to be. It's never been a negative thing. It's never been bad things happening. It's always been like an affirmation of like you're doing the right thing, you're in the right place. At least that's just how I took it. Anyways, I take it how I want.
Yeah.
But
that's all that matters.
So those numbers really stood out to me. So I wanted to make it significant. I wanted to be like 11/23.
Nice. I like the simplicity of it.
It's just
11/23.
It's 11/23. It's just my numbers. This is my good luck numbers. You know, like they follow me everywhere I go, man. Like it's crazy. Like. So many cool things have happened on the 11th and 23rd, and just like things, or like eye-opening things, or just whatever. There's like a list that could go on, but so 11/23.
And so, how long did it take you to make this album?
Well, the oldest song on this album is 5 years old. But when I was making these songs, I wasn't thinking about making an album. I was just making these songs, right? And don't mind me, I'm just gonna get into this position here.
Yeah, get comfy.
Holy, my legs.
Get comfy, buddy.
Shit.
So they numb or what?
I don't know what's going on.
We're in the van. I didn't say that. Maybe I did, but maybe you guys already know. We always do the podcast in the van. It's a number one rule.
Number one rule. So when I started making this music, I didn't know I was going to do an album. I kept making this music, and I've really never told anybody this like on video or audio recorder. So I'm pumped that I can say this because I've been telling people this. I made music while I was building my business, but I didn't want to be judged for being a hip-hop rap artist in Saskatoon while I was starting to build this business for the reason that I didn't want anybody to label me, or I didn't want any excuse. I didn't want anybody trying to, like, put that on me like I couldn't accomplish being a business person who had never gone to school or anything like that. And around here, honestly, people don't really embrace hip-hop. Rap, it's frowned upon. Like, it's very frowned upon. People don't really like it, and I don't give a shit. I'm going to do it anyways because it's what my heart says, but a lot of people just don't like it. We're in Saskatchewan.
What do you think that is?
Why?
Yeah.
It's just the culture. We're just in a different culture. This is like...
Lack thereof. We don't have too many people rolling through Saskatchewan to give us new culture. Not that it's
slowly
happening.
happening.
Like a knock, but it's fucking minus 40 here in the wintertime. Like, no one's like... Yeah, let's leave this.
It's just the kind of people that live here. It's just how the cards got dealt, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money in Saskatchewan, so it's like, you know, okay, so going back to the whole thing, like, my album, when I started making it, I didn't know exactly that I was going to make this album, but I didn't want to put I made all this music and just kept it in the vault because I'm like, I don't want to just put this out. No one's going to care. It's good stuff. but I'm just gonna save it
Yeah.
because I didn't want anyone to be like, "You're a rapper, you can't do your business, or we're not
Right.
doing business with you because you're a rapper."
Oh,
So,
I see what you're
so
saying.
what I did
Like
is,
that would tarnish your name or just give you a
well,
bad
it's just an
rap
excuse
or-
for people to hate, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta, you know,
Yeah.
figure out your best defense to do the offense, right? So, I had all these songs, held them off, and I was like, okay. And I thought about this the first day I did business. If I can do business good, excuse me, if I can do business good, I can prove I have good customer service, prove I have a good quality content over and over and over and over and over again till I'm undeniable, then when I go to put out my music, you can take it for what you want. You're one of my best friends. I really wouldn't see you any less if you don't listen to one of my songs for the rest of my life, because honestly I'm not begging for
Right.
attention,
Yeah.
but I wanted to get the point across saying that I'm a businessman, I do this, and I also make hip-hop music. You don't like my hip-hop music, close that door, don't listen to
Right.
it. But what you can't do is you can't take this part away from me because I rap, because you
Right.
can't do that. I'm undeniable now.
Yeah.
I've done it too many times, I've served too many people, I've done too much great work, and I continue to do that. You can't take that from me. But in the first year or two, easily someone could have took it from me.
Right.
Don't do work with this guy. He's a hip-hop rapper trying to
Right.
do photo and video, especially in Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
right? So the whole strategy was, I want to do music so bad. I love it, but I'm going to do this as a strategy to prove a point.
It's long-term
So then,
thinking.
yeah, and I knew that from the get-go. So then I had all these songs. So going back, how long did it take the album to make? I guess 5 years.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I have another 10 songs already in the bank.
Right.
And by the time those come out, I'm ahead of myself. So all this music people are hearing, it's awesome stuff. I really think it's awesome. There's a song for everybody on there. You lost a friendship, you lost a girlfriend, you spend time with your family having parties, you go on that boat, the driving vibe, you like some street hardcore rap with some hardcore beats, you like some kind of old school hip hop. There's 1 or 2 tracks for every type of person on this
That's
album.
awesome. And that's the kind of cool thing that you're so like well versed in life, and you do so much shit that you have a never ending content. You
Yeah,
always
no,
have
I got
something to
content
talk
for
about.
days.
You're traveling all the time. You're meeting new people
We're
all the
making
time.
content right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I'm sure it's never ending as far as like lyrics go and like storylines and song ideas.
Exactly. I like. Sorry, I'm just getting more comfortable here. I'm still working on my lyrics a bit because I haven't been brushing up on those skills, so I need to
Yeah.
work on my lyrics a bit. But I have stories for days.
What's the most challenging thing when you're creating an album? Is it like the lyrics, the beats, putting it all together?
I think it's a mix of everything. Lyrics, beats. You want beats people like, but you don't know if they're gonna like them or not.
Do you make the beats on this?
No,
Is it
I
like a-
bought all my beats.
Okay.
But I wrote all the music, I recorded all the music, I mixed and mastered all the music. So I do a lot. I shouldn't say a lot more than everybody else now, because a lot of guys actually do all that now. Like
Yeah.
we're at an age now where everyone's a jack of all trades.
Right.
But it's still a lot. There's still a lot of guys that just rap and send the stuff off. But I did all that, and like, I don't know, it is a process. I think the most difficult part being an engineer is letting a mix be a mix.
Right.
Like when you're an engineer, it's like, even before I came here, it's like I had one more mix to do. I haven't
Right.
uploaded the album yet, and I'm a week away, and I should be, but I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
But I've listened to it enough on enough stereos, and I'm like, okay, now I don't hear anything. I'm good. So I think the hardest part for me is the finishing the mixes and like putting it together as a whole. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But now that I've done it, now that I'm going to do it once, I'll have a way better idea of what I want to do next time.
Nice.
Like, this is going to be a good body of work. People will
Yeah.
go back and be like, this is good shit.
Hell yeah.
But at the start, people are going to miss it. People
Yeah.
are going to miss it 100% just because I'm just starting out. I'm like just starting out, just like I just said on my last post. It's like, it reminds me of being in the first year of business.
Yeah.
My day ones definitely were fucking with it. And you gain a few new fans here and there. You really got to build it up before people really want to give it a chance.
Right.
And that's honestly it. Earn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Prove that you're not just a one-time thing. Prove it, because
Right.
I don't want, like, as a fan, I don't want to follow you if you're just going to do something once or you're going to drop something every 6 months. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm just being real. So I'm like, I want to prove to people. I'm like, here's my album, 14 tracks, got 5 music videos, shot 1 in Colombia, shot 1 in Vegas, shot 2 in Kelowna,
Wow.
going to LA. I'm probably going to shoot one out there, plus do a podcast and a show if things work out. So, like,
But that's why I think it's really cool is like, you know, I know you're talking about, you know, it's like the people that are messing with you from day one, but it's like, even if you weren't messing with DillyBat from day one, even just hearing this podcast and hearing that you were beatboxing and like rapping like in your like early high school, you know, when you're like 14, 15, that means you've been doing this a while. Like it's like in you to like perform and create art and create content and you know, be this guy who you are now, this DillyBat.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool. Like whether you met, you know, knew Dilly back in the day or not, he is who he is. This is what you do.
This is me.
And so it's awesome that this album's coming out and we're going to kind of hear like a little bit of your life in the lyrics, I'm sure.
And it's funny because all of this stuff in the podcast, like if you listen to this podcast and then you listen to my album, you'll hear things that I didn't even talk about. I've never even said that it's in the podcast.
Right.
Like I talk about the depression, the suicide. I have that in a song. People are going to be like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But I addressed that in a song to remind myself as a timestamp to never ever go there again. But I had this like, I got, the line goes, I guess, suicide on my mind, I'm dealing with this pain. Had so many debates if I should leave like Cobain, bang, bang. Kiss the world goodbye and then I go to sleep. But this time when I close my eyes, I ain't counting sheep. It's a different, it's like saying if I went there.
Right, yeah.
Never would, but that's, so that is a little piece of what we talked about here and there. The mud house. In the song called 100, I talk about living in a mud house with 17 people.
Right.
And there's bits and pieces that go from like what I'm talking about now that you'll see in the album, and it's just all true stuff with my life. I don't have to make anything up. My life's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, and I want to brush on that before we get into the 5 questions, because like I know that your tattoo is kind of like it's almost like an image of someone holding like a gun to the bottom of their chin, but it's a camera.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember reading this book, Man's Search for Meaning, and it talked about purpose, and it talked about helping people getting out of, you know, this guy was a Holocaust survivor and he was a psychologist, so he's a really heady, intelligent guy going through, like he was in Auschwitz and just the toughest time possible. But he said the people that would, in his opinion, the people that survived were people that maybe didn't see their family die yet. So in their mind, they had purpose still because they thought maybe their wife, maybe their kids, maybe these people were still alive. So that gave them purpose. The people who saw their family die, everything was lost. They have no purpose anymore. So they would fold under the pressure or just like limp when they shouldn't have. So with that tattoo, and I've went through this too, like, and I think it's important for people to hear, and there's no timeline on it. You might be going through dark times, but I think it is important to try and find something that gives you meaning or purpose in life. And for you, it was the camera. And so that's why I love the image of the camera going up into your chin, and it's 100%. Like just snapping a picture, and it kind of, you know, it's a really cool idea and image.
And if you don't mind me, I wanted to say about the tattoo. So, if you ever see me in person, you can ask about it. So pretty much the concept is it's a camera like this to the neck, and the idea is blowing out my brains with my ideas, which is what saved my life. The camera was my purpose. This is what is my life. This is what saved me. This is what really made me like pumped for life. And I always remember, I'm glad I put the camera to my vision to blow up my brains of ideas rather than blowing up my fucking brains like with something else, you know what I'm saying? So
awesome.
It's like a deep thing, but I use it as motivation. I'm not scared. I wear my heart on my sleeves, and I think it's a good thing to do to help people be more okay with their darkness and their negativity, and just know that you can get past it and it doesn't define you. It's just a part of your life that defines where you go next depending on how you take it. So like,
and it's so easy to be so hard on ourselves, like you were saying.
And I'm hard as fuck on myself.
Oh, when we all are, like you were saying, when you were living with Ryan and Shaden and Galbraith there, and you were like thinking that like, you know, maybe me or Pierman and like we had it all good because we're making money, we got a house and stuff, but here I am just like my soul was rotting because I wasn't doing anything that brought me joy, but on the outside. And it's tough to talk about. Like I didn't have the you know, call it courage to talk about it then. So people don't know. So I think it's just good anytime we can get the courage to like talk about that type of shit.
100%.
It is good, man, because you never know who's going through some shit. They might appear to be strong and healthy, but
and
in reality,
exactly
they're not.
And I wanted to add into this here. We're at like 53 minutes. So we gotta cut it down pretty quick here. But I want to say this. When people see our lives on social media is a bunch of highlights. I take the time to actually share some of my negativity once in a while with people, just so people know that like they're following a real person and that life isn't just happiness. But like, if you never knew me or you, or I get a lot of people that actually misjudge me in general. People really got a misjudged character of me, and I don't see it. But I think, and I argue with people this, I think it's a misjudgment based on people's insecurities, because I can always back up what I'm saying with my context. Every time someone has something to say where they misjudge me, because I know myself so well, and I'm thinking about all this stuff before I even do it. When someone has a misjudging, I go back and I correct them on that's just on my opinion. But what I'm basically getting at is that people think that we're happy as motherfuckers ever. But happiness is a choice. Happiness is always a choice, and it's up to you to get there. But that doesn't mean everything's right. Doesn't mean you're perfect. Doesn't mean that you don't fuck up.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean bad shit doesn't happen. But it just means that you've chosen that out of strength.
Yeah.
And that's...
I always remember what the Stoics said too. Like, even a really good life is filled with pain and suffering. You're not going to all of a sudden reach point A and life is just going to be uphill happiness from day one. Like, even running your business, it's awesome that you're running your business. You got the freedom, you got all the creativity, but you're still going to have days where you're like, fuck. Like, not happy with how the day went. You're going to have your dark times. It's not like...
But no one sees that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just good to know that even like a good life, you know, don't just expect that once you create your own business or once you date this person or once you get this, you're going to be happy forever. No. Life is just a roller coaster.
Life is peaks and valleys, and the better you get at mentally not getting high when the highs are high and not getting too low when the lows are low, you'll do just fine. Just understand that life is a fucking battle. So you're a warrior. Look at yourself in the mirror. You're a warrior. You're going to war, not only with yourself, with the world.
Fuck yeah, I love it, buddy. So...
last 5 questions here.
Yeah, we're gonna do the last 5 questions here, but just because the my Anchor app is getting close to an hour, I'm gonna exit this, save it, and then we're gonna reboot it, and then I'll jump into the questions just because I don't want it to fuck up the 5 questions.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Sounds good.
So give us a sec. Yeah, sorry. Buddy.
After the podcast is done, I would love to have a 20-minute session of sleep in this bed to say, hey, I've slept here. I know we're going to change the world. We're slowly changing it, man. Every day. It's just natural. It's just how we were born. It's what we were born to do. Not even like this is our mission. It's just this is part of our journey. I'm so glad that, me and you can actually get on here and share this kind of stuff because it's so important that we share the way we think and the way we are because you start to realize a lot of people don't think. A lot of people aren't like us. And the more we share just about our thoughts, the more we're giving that opportunity for people to possibly change their own life and believe in themselves and just know you're not alone and just open up the mind and expand.
Yeah. Man, honestly. Even just people from like hearing Kurt talk, like a lot of
Kurt's
people look
so
up
dope.
to
I don't
Kurt,
even really know him that well.
Fuck.
But I can just tell by the look in his face and just how he does things on Instagram. He's a good fucking man.
He's accomplished more than most people that I know.
I got to the part on the podcast where he said he's had like probably over 600 wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the only black belt in Canada. And he got it from Boss Rutan and Dwayne Ludwig. Like, man, you want to talk about...
And you're the second brown belt in Muay Thai in Canada.
Yeah.
Only 2.
Yeah, me and Adam.
Holy shit.
So I'm just waiting until this loads and we'll fucking hop on here. Man, it's funny, like I just got a text from Travis Penner too, I didn't read the whole thing, but I could just see that he was like listening to me and Ryan, and I could just see he was about to say like it's really awesome and just crazy, man, like how many like people are just like actually like getting a bit of benefit out of it, it's like, fuck, I didn't know that about Ryan, or fuck, I like Kurt's story about gaining 60 pounds in one summer was crazy, and it's like you're hearing that they're actually like listening to the podcast, and I'm like, fuck, this is crazy, man.
Someone said to me, you're up early. Because I'm getting this content out.
Yeah, this is good. And this is like, and man, this is like one of the best ways to like promote yourself. This isn't like, and I kind of mentioned a little bit like on the Instagram, but like this isn't like a perfectly edited Instagram post where you can backspace, put the comma where and respell everything. It's like this is who we are, unedited, uncensored, for an hour long. So it's like you want to promote a fucking album. It's like, don't even talk about the album. Just share your story, and people will be like, "Fuck, Dylan's cool. Where can I get more album?"
And this is perfect whatever. Because this is gonna build content, and that's why I wanted to do the video for this because, one, it's helping both of us out. It's cool. It's a cool thing. It's a cool piece of content. People like to see things on video.
Yeah.
2, people get to know you a little more.
Yeah.
People get to know me a little more.
Yeah.
People get to know life a little more.
All right, so for those of you that have been following DillyBat, you probably know on his story he He's always joking about going from dad bod to shredded. What is your favorite cheat meal that gets you that dad bod? And what is your favorite like healthy meal that gets you shredded? So we'll start with the cheat meal first. What's your
What
go-to
is my
cheat
favorite
meal?
cheat meal?
Yeah.
Huh. I gotta think of that one. Favorite cheat meal.
Because you're not big on sweets, hey? Like you don't like
Don't
candy,
fuck with desserts.
Like, yeah.
But I will have some cookies every once in a while from Subway.
Okay.
But I don't fuck with dessert.
Okay.
Go out to Red Lobster, go out to Cactus Club, wherever.
Yeah.
Don't fucking I eat till I'm done. Don't give me no
Yeah.
dessert. I ain't fucking doing that shit.
Crazy.
Don't fuck with it.
We're
My dad
we're
makes fun of me.
different
My
in that
dad's like,
sense.
motherfucker, you don't fucking eat dessert. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that shit.
So you're
Sorry for
like
swearing.
you're like a burger guy or what? Like where?
I like burgers for
Yeah.
sure. Burgers, I like. Gotta go with the chicken snack wraps from McDonald's.
Really?
I
Chicken
eat-
snack wraps from McDonald's.
I
That's
got
your
no
go-to.
shame in my game, man. I'll ride through there real quick, get 2 snack
Nice.
wraps, and then hit the gym or do something like.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I'm a wild man like that.
So that's where you get the dilly dad bod.
It goes like this.
Chicken snack wraps.
Hey, can I get 2 chicken snack wraps, please? Both grilled, both chipotle.
Nice. Grilled makes it healthier.
Does it?
I don't know. It's better than breaded. So-
Yes.
all right. So now, what's your go-to like healthy meal that gets you shredded?
Well, I'm a basic ass bitch when it comes to cooking, so I like raw spinach, some broccoli, and a chicken breast on the barbecue.
Nice.
Um,
Carbs with that or what?
maybe a little bit of rice.
Nice.
Add
Nice.
it in there. Yeah.
Nice. Simple.
Yeah.
Sweet. Good answer.
Thank you.
All right, so number 2, you kind of answered this already, but I'll put you on the spot just a little bit here. I know you said you love pretty much everything you do, but if gun to your head, you have to do one thing of all the things that you do for income and business, what would it be? Is it photography, videography, hip-hop artist? You know, what is it?
It's videography.
Videography?
Yeah.
So like music videos, weddings,
Videography
video in general.
and I'm gonna go wild on this one. I'm gonna say travel videography.
Nice.
It's my only
Specifically
option.
travel
Yeah.
videos. Sweet.
I'm only allowed to travel the world and make travel videos
Nice.
with the gun to my head.
Love it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been in business for many years now.
6.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned through running your business?
What is the biggest lesson that I've learned to run my business?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta do a little elaborate on this one. This is good. Biggest lesson I've learned.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like 20 things right now, actually.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson I've learned. Audit yourself and be as real as you can be so that you can be the realest version of yourself to give yourself the most real responsive attention to your clients and to your job. If you're not real to yourself, you're not being honest with yourself, you're not going to get that 100% authentic service and product. Because if your roots aren't good, how the hell is your tree gonna? How's your trunk? How's all gonna be strong? So I believe that auditing yourself to be
Nice.
real as
Self-aware.
fuck, self-aware. Thank you.
Yeah.
Self-aware, and asking yourself what you need to change about yourself, what's not good about you, where your problem areas are, so that, and patience. I have to add that in there. Patience.
You only
get
get
one.
one.
But patience, though.
Yeah.
I gotta add that
Long
in there. It
game,
goes
yeah.
together with it because
Yeah.
without that, like I've learned it so much and it's
Right.
built such character in me. I've actually often heard recently people been like, "You're such a patient person." I'm patient as fuck because I've just been so impatient too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's my
Awesome.
answer for that
Love
one.
it, buddy. So audit yourself, self-awareness, and be patient.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Love it. All right. Number 4.
Yep.
What has been the biggest obstacle / challenge you've faced while running DillyBat Productions? So biggest obstacle, biggest challenge.
Biggest challenge, and this is me being real and auditing myself and being honest. Money management. Not the best at money management, and because of that, I could have been in a better place or had gear earlier.
Right.
But I'm not that good at money management, and I'm working on that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of my.
What do you spend your money on? You find.
Um,
Where does it go? I know you do buy like a lot of like good gear and you got
Yeah.
nice gear, but like what?
The rest is honestly, you could say 6 years is not lots when you haven't had I had a loan for $7,000 when I started my business, and that was for a computer and a camera. One of these cameras is actually the one recording you right now. And I used all the rest of my money to travel and do things. If you actually look at my track record, all I've been doing is traveling. I get out of debt, and I just paid $1,200 on the credit card. Then guess what I did? I put a flight on it to LA because I'm investing. So I would say I'm reinvesting in my business without a loan. So that's where the money goes. I literally do that. I haven't really been buying too much fancy shit.
Food, hey? Like, you eat out a lot.
Food, there you go, actually.
Food's one, eh? Like,
Guy, food is actually the one.
It adds
Amen
up,
to that, actually. Food would be it. That's how you know your friends real well, when you can tell them. I'm like, yeah, now that I think about it, food.
Yeah.
But besides that, food and just travel and stuff, like, I'm not too fancy. Be a little flashy here and there for a music video and stuff like that, but I make a no-name brand shirt look good all the fucking time. $5, $10.
Young model.
Yeah, right.
So that's your biggest obstacle challenge is money management.
Yeah, on my own end.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Good, buddy. All right, number 5, last question.
Here we go.
This is the big one. This is the thinker.
Woo!
So, again, back to that kind of man search for meaning, that purpose. You know, you're self-employed. It takes a lot of courage, grit, and determination. What drives you? What fuels that fire? You know, why do you get out of bed every day to shoot film and like meet these people and create content? You know, what's fueling DillyBat?
Do you know what fuels me? I believe since I was born that I was here to change people's lives and put an impact in people's lives. So every day when I wake up, besides me getting the job done, what motivates me is knowing that I have a special something about myself that maybe other people don't, and I need to go out there. And it's my responsibility as me being me to share that in the way that I communicate, the way that I do art. So what drives me is knowing that there's so many people out there that might need somebody like me. Whether it's a good, bad instance, you need people like me that aren't afraid to just go out there. And so my ultimate drive to answer the question is that I'm trying to leave my footprints in the sand when I die, and I want to affect people in a good way, and I want to change people's lives. So I feel like when I wake up, it's a really deep thing that I'm here to change people's lives. That's what I was born to do. That's why I was adopted from a third world country and brought into this foreign place of Warman, Saskatchewan. I was born to change people's lives. I was born to change the world, and you will see that in the next years. And that's why I get up every day. It's because I'm here to change the world.
Awesome.
That's honestly how I feel, and that's the real truth. And we'll look back on this.
Yeah.
We'll look back on this, and someone will play this video clip again 5-10 years from now. And you'll be like, holy shit, he was fucking right.
Right. Self-belief is incredible.
Confidence is different than being cocky. Remember that confidence is when you're confident in yourself and you say something to bring people up. Cockiness is when you bring yourself up and you're bringing people down. So don't get that confused, because when you're in a weird spot, like confidence-wise, you're not feeling yourself, sometimes you mix that up just because you're seeing the perspective of how you're feeling and not what the actual thing is, because people get that mixed up. So it's clear. I wanted to say that.
Boom. You guys heard it first. DillyBat. Album comes out on the 23rd.
And the party is on the 31st. Get your tickets. It's going to be a wild one. Last year, we actually packed my birthday, May 10th last year at Melody Bar. So come on out. It's going to be a good time. Come network. I know so many different types of people. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to cut it there.
Fuck yeah.
Nomadic Ninja.
Love
my
you,
brother for life. Thanks for always being a good friend. Yeah. And I can't wait to look back on this in years and just be like, hey, I picked a good homie that not only always has self-reflection and talks about some real shit, but we grew and we're so different. Yeah. Yet we come together on common ground.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. We like I said at the beginning, we've been friends for a long time, and you've been someone that has really been on the front lines of trial and error. Like when you're running your business, like whether you got into audio engineering, you know, you're one of the first out of 6 people that pass, and you know, really kind of
lowest mark in the class, by the way, 63.
Yeah, so it's like you really kind of lead by example. And I told Ryan this on the podcast, told Kurt on his podcast.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that one. Shout out to Kurt, by the way.
Yeah,
think you're a dope ass dude. Yeah. Don't even know you, but I can tell by the look in your face and everything. You're a good fucking man, and I hope we can have a coffee sometime.
So yeah, I appreciate you, buddy. Love you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.